Page 17, yesterday. I'm going to start talking about this with the right hand, all right, right at the beginning. On page 17, now at the beginning of each line again, they've got measure numbers in the little boxes, so I can call out measure numbers for where I'm referring to. So my first one I want to talk about is measure 8. So you go down to the third line, you see the 7, you go over one measure, that's measure 8. You have an E and 2 D's. Because it's tied, you're only going to play it twice, right? My point is there's a quarter rest and we want to hear the rest. So when the left hand plays that note, the right hand comes up right then. So I don't have a lot for the right hand. The right hand is pretty straightforward. Just make sure that you're accurate with how long you hold each note down. However, I have a few suggestions in the left hand. Over on page 17, starting with measure 8 again. That last beat in measure 8 with an E, C, they're showing a 5-1. I suggest you do a 4-1 so you can use the 5-2 on the next chord and connect them. Now I know the pedal's down and that'll help it, but we want to do it with the fingers just the same. Same thing on measure 10. The last beat there, 4-1. And the next measure it goes into a 5-2, same fingering. On measure 15, on page 18, the last note, again, 4-1. You're going to see this throughout, so use the same fingering each time. I don't really want to have to go through and point out each one. I'm sure you'll find them when you get there. On measure 21, it also happens on measure 25, same thing. In the left hand, watch the fingering. You have a 2-1, 3-1, 4-1, 5-1 on those. They give you the first 3 notes, but they don't give you the rest of it. And maybe you would do it fine, I don't know, but I'm not taking the chance. I'm telling you what the fingering is. On measure 24, it's the last measure on page 18. I recommend a 4. 2-1 on the first one, and then a 5. So you see, start the measure before. Okay, let's start on measure 23. In the left hand, you're here, then you're here. For measure 24, I recommend a 4 on the G, because you can scrunch up and get the little finger on it, but there's no point. You don't need to. Just use 4. And then on the last one, you can scrunch up and do 5. When you scrunch up and do the 4, it helps to use third finger on that last B, on that B. On the 4th, 8th note in that measure. Here, and then you can use 5. Notice at the top of page 17, right at the beginning, there's a note above them said both hands 8 VA. So instead of here, you're going to pretend middle C goes up an octave. So go here and just move the hands up here. Second measure, you're back down here. Third measure, you're up here again. And then for measure 4, you're down here. And on measure 4 on that arpeggio, I play the first note on the beat. So I would play that F with this F. At the bottom of page 19, measure 35 is the same thing. It's marked here, but you play them up here. Because of the both hands 8/8. And we'll talk about the pedal. They have this marked as overlapping pedal pretty much throughout. It's okay, I don't want to go re-edit the whole thing, but I would like to change a couple of minor little things so we can hear the phrasing a little better. On measure 6, they've got you doing the pedal here. I think that's mushy. I would recommend that you not push the pedal down until you play the F in the right hand. To me, that sounds much better. Now, if you do that, You got to hold the left hand F down, the first note. You got to make it a quarter note and hold it down for a full quarter note. So you have to hold it down long enough to catch it with the pedal, is what I'm saying. Measure 8. You're here. I would lift the pedal up between beats 3 and 4, so there's just a little bit of silence there. So you notice the phrasing in the left hand? We want to hear that. Now you can push the pedal down after you play the chord, and you're going to change it on the next chord. That's fine. We just want a little silence between them. Same thing on measure 10. There, so we get a little silence between the phrases. Same thing on measure 15, the last beat. Lift the pedal up before you play that last beat. It's here. Same thing on measure 17. This is all over the place, isn't it? Now I have a little problem here on measures 21 and 25, because if they pedal this the way they're telling you, you'll get this. That's fine with you? Great, do it that way. I don't see any problem with pedaling each beat there. On that measure, because it just cleans it up just a little bit. You can experiment and see what you think. Measure 28 again. I recommend putting the pedal down when you play the F in the right hand. Starting on measure 27, you get this. I can still connect them with the fingers, that's fine. I don't need a break between 27 and 28, because even though it shows two different phrases, it's a lead in. This leads into here. I wouldn't split it. That's fine, there's no break in there, but I would still not pedal it until I played the F in the right hand. It's just a little cleaner. Then I'll measure 30. The last beat again is a break, but before it, between the third and fourth beats. Same thing with measure 32. So having said all that, let's give this thing a try. You can put in the dynamics. They give these swells. Take a look at the top of page 18. The last two measures of the first line. In the right, you see the hairpins. You're getting loud and soft. So you reach the climax of the phrase. In this case, it's easy because you're raising up the pitch. So you can get louder and then die away. This kind of thing is used a lot in this piece, and just about every time it's because the pitch is going up. At the top of page 19, it's there. See it? Measure 26, that E, that first note, that's like the climax of the phrase, and that's like the loudest note in that. Then you come off. So you can do the slowing down and dynamics on your own. You'll be fine there. You can find all kinds of recordings, so you get a good idea what this thing sounds like. I'm not going to perform it. I don't think you need it. However, because of the rhythms and all, I would like to play it slowly and have you play it with me, so we can verify the rhythms and the notes. It's in 4/4 time. I put the metronome on 70. Hopefully that's quarter notes. So it's 1, 2, 3. At the beginning it would be 1, 2, and 3, 4. 1, 2, and 3, 4. Like so. So hopefully the eighth notes won't be too fast for you. Now we're going to play page 17. I'll give us 4 counts to start it, and then we'll turn the page, and then we'll play pages 18 and 19, and again I'll give us 4 counts to come in. So we'll try it that way. If you're performing it, you got to turn that page quick, but you can do that because at the bottom of page 17, you're here. And the pedal's down, so you can use either hand to turn it right quick before you go on and let the pedal keep the sound going for you to get the page turned. Sometimes we have to do that. 1, 2, ready, go. Turn the page, hands where they go, 4 counts. 1, 2, ready and go, and.